Two people can start life in very similar situations. They can grow up in the same environment, have similar opportunities, learn similar skills, and yet, over time, their financial lives can become completely different. One person constantly struggles with money, bills feel overwhelming, financial stress becomes a normal part of life. The other person, step by step, begins to build stability, not necessarily overnight, but slowly, consistently. At first glance, this difference can feel confusing. Many people assume it must be luck, or intelligence, or special opportunities that only a few people receive. But if you observe closely, something deeper becomes visible. The difference often begins in the way people think, because before financial results change, thinking changes. And the way someone thinks about money shapes the decisions they make every single day. Over time, those decisions slowly shape their future. In this video, we're going to explore the difference between a poor mindset and a wealth mindset, not based on income, not based on social status, but based on how people think, react, and make decisions. Because in the long run, mindset quietly becomes destiny. Most people believe financial success is simply about numbers, income, savings, investments, assets. But numbers are only the result of something deeper. Behind every financial outcome is a decision, and behind every decision is a belief. The way someone thinks about money influences how they behave. It influences how they react to opportunity. It influences how they deal with failure. It influences how they respond to risk. Two people can face exactly the same situation. One sees opportunity, the other sees danger. One takes action, the other hesitates. One prepares for the future, the other focuses only on the present moment. And slowly, these differences accumulate, not in dramatic ways, but in small daily decisions. And those decisions shape the direction of someone's financial life. At the center of everything lies a fundamental difference. A poor mindset focuses on survival. A wealth mindset focuses on growth. A poor mindset tries to avoid discomfort. A wealth mindset accepts discomfort as part of progress. A poor mindset reacts to problems as they appear. A wealth mindset prepares for challenges before they happen. A poor mindset often feels controlled by circumstances. A wealth mindset focuses on influence and responsibility. At first, these differences may seem subtle, almost philosophical, but over time, they create entirely different paths. Because financial life is not shaped by one big decision, it is shaped by thousands of small decisions made over time, and mindset influences every one of them. One of the most important differences between these mindsets is how people respond to problems. A poor mindset often reacts to circumstances. When something goes wrong, the focus immediately moves outward. The situation becomes the explanation. External factors become the cause. Blame becomes the response. This reaction can feel natural. After all, many situations truly are outside our control. But there is a hidden cost to this pattern. When responsibility disappears, control disappears too. A wealth mindset approaches problems differently. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" it asks a different question. What can I do next? This question shifts attention from frustration to action, from complaint to problem solving, from helplessness to responsibility. And responsibility creates power. Because once someone accepts responsibility for improving their situation, they begin to search for solutions, and that search creates movement. Another powerful difference between these mindsets is the way people think about time. A poor mindset tends to focus almost entirely on the present moment, immediate comfort, immediate pleasure, immediate relief from stress. This focus is understandable. Life can feel demanding and unpredictable, but financial growth rarely happens instantly. Most financial stability grows slowly, often invisibly at first. At the beginning, progress may feel small. sometimes almost meaningless. This is why many people abandon good financial habits too early. They expect visible results quickly. They want immediate confirmation that their efforts are working. But wealth mindset thinking operates differently. It constantly considers the long-term impact of decisions, not just today, not just next month, but years into the future. This perspective changes behavior. Short-term satisfaction becomes less important than long-term stability, and those long-term decisions slowly accumulate into meaningful progress. Another major difference between these mindsets appears when people face mistakes. A poor mindset often interprets mistakes as personal failure, something embarrassing, something to avoid, something that proves inability. This fear can quietly limit progress, because avoiding mistakes often means avoiding growth. A wealth mindset views mistakes through a completely different lens. Mistakes are seen as information, as feedback, as experience. Instead of asking, "How do I avoid failure?" a wealth mindset asks, "What can I learn from this?" This shift removes fear from the learning process. It allows experimentation, improvement, adaptation. And over time, this mindset leads to greater knowledge and better decision-making. Another common trait of a poor mindset is constant comparison. People look around and measure their progress against others, other lifestyles, other possessions, other achievements. And comparison creates pressure. Pressure to upgrade, pressure to spend, pressure to maintain an image of success. But comparison is dangerous because it disconnects people from their own path. Instead of focusing on building stability, attention shifts toward appearances. A wealth mindset operates differently. It focuses on progress rather than comparison. The goal is not to compete with other people. The goal is to improve over time. This removes unnecessary pressure and allows decisions to be guided by long-term goals rather than short-term appearances. Perhaps the biggest difference between these mindsets lies in how people perceive opportunity. A poor mindset sees scarcity, limited resources, limited chances, limited possibilities. This perspective creates hesitation, fear of risk, fear of loss, fear of change. A wealth mindset sees possibility, opportunities to learn, opportunities to improve, opportunities to grow. This does not mean ignoring risks. It means believing that improvement is possible, and that belief encourages action instead of paralysis. Over time, these mental patterns create powerful consequences, not overnight, but gradually. A poor mindset tends to reinforce stagnation. Avoiding risk prevents growth. Short-term thinking limits long-term results. Comparison encourages unnecessary spending. Fear discourages experimentation. Meanwhile, a wealth mindset quietly builds momentum. Responsibility encourages action. Long-term thinking encourages patience. Learning encourages improvement. Possibility encourages exploration. And slowly, these differences begin to shape reality. Financial life rarely changes dramatically in a single moment. Instead, it moves slowly in one direction, like a ship adjusting its course by just a few degrees. At first, the change seems insignificant, but over long distances, the destination becomes completely different. Mindset functions in the same way. Small changes in thinking lead to small changes in behavior. Those behaviors repeat daily, and over time, the results become enormous. The encouraging truth is that mindset is not fixed. It can change. It evolves through awareness, through learning, through reflection. The moment someone begins questioning their beliefs about money, something shifts. Old assumptions begin to fade. New possibilities begin to appear. And slowly, decisions begin to change. Not instantly, but gradually. And those new decisions eventually create new results. The truth about financial life is simpler than it appears. Most people do not struggle financially because of a single mistake. They struggle because of patterns, patterns of thinking, patterns of behavior, patterns of decision-making. But patterns can change, and when mindset changes, the direction of life changes too. Not immediately, but inevitably. If you want to understand money in a simple way, subscribe. We post new videos every day. And tell me in the comments, what do you think is the biggest difference between a poor mindset and a wealth mindset?